What's our theme song?
We don't have a theme song. That's
Unja, unja, unja. Just kidding.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cash and Courage, episode 14.
We're so excited to have you here, to be back.
Yeah, we missed last week, but whatever.
Life, business, illness, blah, blah, blah. But we're here. We're so excited.
Well, actually, we were out looking at events or event spaces.
That's where we were. I'm like, it was last week. I don't know. All those things happened last week, but last Monday, I'm so excited. So we were in Salt Lake looking at event spaces because for those of you who don't know, I'm holding a live event in September 19th to the 22nd. This is all about the intersection of creativity and intuition to help magic makers really tap into their magic and not just create masterpieces, but epic, amazing things. So anyway, that is happening in September. If you want to come, go to www.sacredrebelslive.me, and there is an application process. I'm curating this event to make sure that everybody is on the same page and headed in a similar direction so we get the most power out of this event. So again, if you want to come hang out with me live, 4 days diving into all the spirit and magic that makes you you to really unlock your power and do big things on this planet. Why are you laughing?
Because you said while we're on this, so you said 4 days and you're like doing this thing about you. I'm like thinking like, hey, you can dive in with me or something. And you go totally off on something else. It's just funny.
Oh, anyway, check it out. www.sacredrebelslive.me. That's where we're going to be. So we were looking at event spaces last week and we went over, but it was truly phenomenal. And we found this amazing hotel in downtown Salt Lake that we're super excited about, huh?
Yeah, it'll be really good.
Because guys, for those that are local, or guys and gals, I should say, we're going to be bringing Cash and Courage live each month to the Salt Lake City area, and that will be happening in downtown Salt Lake as well. So watch for that.
As next week.
Is that when we're doing it?
Well, I don't know. We have to obviously see if there's stuff like availability for the space we want.
Yeah, so we have to check those things.
But if you're watching this, we're going to plan on doing something soon around the cash side. Debbie's done some live stuff for the things that she does around the energy and that stuff. But I really want to bring some of these principles to live in audience. It's always more fun for me. I think it's more fun for the people. So
hot seats.
I'll make sure to post it on Facebook and let people know and do all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And since we're already here making announcements, one final thing is that we are looking at, seriously looking at, it's going to happen, moving this to YouTube. So pay attention to posts on Joe's page because we're hoping as early as next week that Cash and Courage will be on YouTube. We've listened, we've heard, we've gotten comments all over the place. It's like, I can't find you on Facebook. I want to see all. And one gal was telling me that she has 20 tabs open for all the different live streams that we've done. She's like, when are you going to get a YouTube channel? And so that Joe's looking into that this week. So by as early as next Monday, we'll be over live streaming from YouTube, huh?
Or we can do both. We might simulcast. I have some ideas.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you handle the tech on that. But let's jump into our conversation for today, which is all zeros, the fact that zeros aren't going to make your money stories disappear.
Wait, what?
And so what I mean by that, or what we mean by that, is the zero at the end before the period, after the comma before the period, meaning taking you from 4 figures to 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures, because there's a belief that is pervasive in our society, and I think most societies on this planet, but I'm going to speak to American society because, hey, I live here, I get it. And that is that if we can just get more zeros, after the comma but before the period, then life will be easier. Things will get better. I won't have the same problems that I have right now. Everything will be okay. If we can just make more money, it will answer all of the problems. But we want to talk to the fact today that that is simply not true. It is not true. I didn't know if you wanted.
That's not true. And you're just like.
No, because what we were looking at, I'll lead into it. No, I'll keep going.
Okay.
Is that we were watching a thing I watch some of the weirdest stuff on YouTube. But one of the things I came across was people who lost a lot of money. And it was interesting as I was looking at the countdown, were there 10, maybe there were 5, but it went through people
top 5 or something like that.
Who were essentially billionaires. Wasn't every single one a billionaire?
At least all of them had $1 billion before they lost it all. Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at people who are either high millionaires or billionaires, and it was about how they lost their money. And most, if not all of them, lost their money within a year's period of time. Now, I'm not going to talk about the first few because they were fraud. They had built their money on fraud. Their fraud was found out. They lost their money.
And some of them were, right? But I think it's the more interesting cases to look at in this. And you can also, if you Google like lottery winners, you can find the same type of behavior, right? But these are great examples of like super massive wealth. Like, because any of you watching this, right, think that if somebody were to give me $1 billion, right, that's with a B, not an M. If someone were to give me $1 billion, I'd be set for life. I'd be okay. Everything'd be good, right? But these people, like, so there are a couple of these cases, and I don't remember the names, but it's okay. They were like divorces, right? So women divorcing
So
men.
2 women who had divorced their partners or had been through a divorce. One ended up with a $1 billion settlement. One ended up with a multi-billion.
It was like $2.5 billion or something.
$2.5 billion settlement. Like, just for getting a divorce, they walked away with $1 billion from their marriage just by getting a divorce. And both ended up bankrupt.
Yeah, within like a year.
Right?
Right.
Because one was used to spending $1 million a month.
Something like that, yeah.
She was used to spending $1 million a month. And as we watched this together and watched kind of the downfall of people with a whole bunch of money, some from fraud, some from other things, but these people that had billions of dollars, it wasn't just the wives, there was an oil tycoon in South America. I mean, it's all over. But the idea being that zeros after the comma before the period are no guarantee that you will have a good relationship with money. And when we don't have a good relationship with money, when we don't understand money, when we have stories that we're talking about here, money doesn't make your money stories disappear.
No. And what it will actually do is the more money you get, it will actually amplify those stories you have.
So shitty people become more shittier, and like uncomfortable people become more uncomfortable, and people who would mismanage money at a low amount will mismanage it at ginormous amounts, right? That this kind of story and behavior is not changed by the lack or the gaining of money.
Nope. It all comes down to the behavior, right? And that's what I always look at, right? How are people interacting with money? Because the better you can get a handle on that, the more you're going to be able to, one, get more into your life. But not only that, the more you're going to be able to keep and manage in a way that will help propel your life and create the impact that you're looking for. Because it's really easy, and you see it time and time again, when people are given a large sum of money, if they don't have this, right, themselves, they don't have themselves figured out, it goes away very quickly. Like I said at the beginning, if you go Google like lottery winner failures or something like that, there are articles upon articles about people who have won 2, 3, 4, 500 million, right?
100 million.
100, right?
Not just
and
million.
like within a year, 2 years, they're completely bankrupt.
Right.
Right. And everybody always says, oh, not me. I wouldn't do that. I would do it differently. But my answer to that is no, you wouldn't.
Because how you interact with money now will be the same that you interact with money when you have however millions, hundreds of millions, or billions of dollars. If bringing money in is hard for you now, it will be hard for you later. If keeping money in your bank account is hard for you now, it will be hard for you later. If like overspending is hard for you now, or always living up or beyond your means, that will continue even when you make millions, hundreds of millions, and even billions of dollars. Even multimillionaires who we see lose, or billionaires lose their money, and then they can make it back, and we think that they're amazing because they can keep making it back. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, what is that loss all about to begin with? Because it's not just about bad decisions and marketplace and all those things.
Yeah, I'm not going to say like overall everything is all based on the money short, because there are like, investments that you make that might not pan out. There are lots of different things that contribute to it, but overall, the cash in your bank, the cash that you're going through, what you're spending, what you're buying. Especially
as we look at some of these cases. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to find that link we were watching and link it in the comments below to this YouTube video, that we can see inside of the behavior, the money story that's driving the behavior that can take someone. And I was shocked. I was shocked when someone who had $1 billion walking away free and clear from a relationship with $1 billion could not keep herself afloat in a year's worth of time. And not as a way to judge, but as a way to remind myself how much power a money story can actually have. Because it makes me go to myself and go, what am I still holding on to? What is happening in my money stories? What are the beliefs and the emotions and the old programs that I'm continuing to bring forward into my current existence that are impacting not just the way I make money, but the way I keep money and my ability to have a healthy relationship with money?
And I think that's the best thing, like, this question you just asked yourself. it's always good to look back and reflect on yourself to be like, what am I doing? Like, what are my results? What are the actions that I'm taking to get those results? And what are the emotions that cause me to take those actions? Because again, adding zeros to the end one way or another is not going to change magically the next day when you wake up. Oh, now I magically interact with money. I interact with myself differently because I have money now.
All of a sudden I see myself as enough.
That's not how it works.
No.
Right?
Or you may feel like enough today, but what happens tomorrow when one of those zeros disappears, or a big bill comes in, or someone doesn't come through with the payment they said they were going to make, right? If our worth and our clarity is dependent upon the zeros that are following the commas in our income, we are in a bad place because we no longer have the power. That dot or that zero or that arbitrary whatever it is, that has the power. And that is not a place for people to be making decisions.
Nope. So, what was I saying? Overall, looking at stories, right? I'm just trying, sorry. I have like 1,000 thoughts going through my brain. But a lot of it, like money stories are just like working out at the gym, right? You don't just like go to the gym once or you think about going and then all of a sudden, your body's like how you want it to be.
I just discovered my problem. I think about going to the gym every day. Shouldn't my body look different?
Right? But that's the thing. It's like if someone hands you a large amount of cash, like magically overnight, it's not going to change. But it's the same concepts, right? We're humans. The different systems of our body work very similar. It takes a little bit of work for us to get to where we want to be.
Yeah.
Like it really does. Like honestly, and there are people who get a large amount of money and they live really well for a short amount of time. But the problem that they're taking with them does not go away.
The one that is in between here and here.
Right.
That carries forward with us
wherever you go.
Yep.
So
what do you do? Okay, so you got this thing. It's not going to matter what zeros. Yes. Are you going to live more comfortably? Yes. Can you buy that thing you've always wanted? In that way, zeros can impact you. But let's be real. They don't make your money story disappear. So if we want a healthy relationship with money, which means more money and more powerful use of money, we got to get rid of the money story. What's one tip that you can give them?
I think just being aware of when you look at your, talking to a different group today, right? It's just being aware of, I get this tool out, right? Being aware of your numbers. What do your numbers mean? Don't avoid them in your businesses, right? But look at them and say, what are they doing for me, right? When I look at my numbers, when I open my bank account, what kind of emotions am I having? Like awareness is always the first key. Again, I talk about this, we talk about like awareness and action like almost every single time because it's so important. Be aware of what's happening. Because until you're aware and you're conscious of what's actually happening when you interact with money, it's going to be impossible to change. Because you're not just, again, going to wake up one morning and be like, oh, I'm just there. Right.
All of a sudden, everything is hunky-dory and all the money is coming in. No, that's not how it works.
It might feel like that, but you got to put the work in. Right.
And it starts with awareness.
So become aware of what happens when you look at your numbers. Start mapping out the emotions, because if you understand what the emotions are, you can start to do something about it. But if you just kind of like close your eyes, put your hands over your eyes and be like, I don't even want to look at my number, like, right? You just like keep it out. You never look at them until there's like this dire bill due. And then you're like, well, I guess I better go check things out so I can pay this bill. You're in a bad state if you do that, like, honestly.
Absolutely.
So start looking at the emotions coming up, because then you can take care of them. At least you know what they are. And then you can seek help, right? You can take action to try to resolve them and figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Because otherwise, then you're just going to continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over. And you're going to continue to work and deal with money the same way over and over and over.
And you'll see your patterns again and again and again. The feast and famine.
Yeah, and then eventually you get to a place where like, why does this keep happening to me?
Because you're living the same story. You keep writing the same story. You're going to get the same result, right? So we got to do something different.
Yep.
End of story. Got to do something different. So before we leave you today, I'm going to share something with you because I'm super excited about it. I don't know if Joe's even going to open his mouth about it until he's 100% ready.
Like, hang on, I wasn't done yet. Wow. Debbie sits on a yoga ball during these things. I just kind of push her and then rock her off.
I'm sorry. Keep going. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, so I've been thinking a lot about how I can serve my people better.
You were going to tell them?
Yes.
Because I've been so excited about this. I'm like, are you going to tell people? Are you going to tell people?
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Energies are different. So I've been thinking, because right now I've offered pretty much one-on-one coaching with me that doesn't fit within everybody's budgets. Like, honestly, like it just doesn't. I get that.
Or their needs.
And sometimes people are just like, I just want some help identifying what's going on, and then I can take it from there. Or they might already have like life coaches or therapists in their life that can help with that. I'm not a therapist, by the way, but they just want help like with the money thing, like how do I identify it? So I'm going to try something, right? I'm going to see if I like it, but I'm not sure. So I want to put that caveat out there. But
we know it will be powerful. Would you stop undermining what you can do? I'm so done.
No, I'm
with
just
you.
saying, hold on. It's going to be severe, like it'll be super powerful. I've done this at a small scale, but what I'm looking for are people who want to figure out what their money stories are and how money is impacting their lives. Okay. So what I'm offering is for you to get on the phone with me and talk about what that looks like. Right. But it's going to be one session with me, and you'll walk away with a money mastery playbook that will basically set you up for what you need to do next to start taking care of your money stories, your money issues.
This is your map, your guide, designed for you, with you, about exactly what your stories are, exactly what's showing up, where your money matrix indicator mix is, or money mastery indicator mix is. It is designed to give you all the pieces that you need. The way that I map souls, he can map your money. And he's going to map your money and give you the full printout. It's a multiple page color report
and like
that gives you everything that you need to go, okay, where do I go next? Okay, because like you said, some of you already have life coaches, you already have things going on. You just need to see the whole picture so you know how to move forward. And that's what this map is about. That's what this playbook is all about, is just developing that for you and with you so you are set and golden to move forward in whatever way, shape, or form best serves you most.
Yeah, like Debbie said, this isn't like some cookie cutter things like, oh, Joe's just gonna have anything. This is specifically tailored to you. So
it's what he does with all of his one-on-one clients who are paying him now $5,000 to work with him for 90 days. It's taking that and boiling it down to what you need in the beginning, and so you can take it and run with it if you want on your own. It is delicious. It is powerful. It's the thing that I'm like, okay, let's look at mine again. Map my money mastery. I want to see where I'm at. I need to see where I'm growing. It's that kind of a conversation to make sure that you have exactly what you need, because what do we know? We know that data, the information, that having the picture and the awareness is the first step to get you moving forward. And if you think, oh, this is my money story over here, it's about this, but I'm going to tell you what, most of the time it's not this. There are things going on below the surface that Joe can see, hear, and tap into that as he has that conversation with your money. So that instead of you trying to walk on this path up here, it's like, oh no, this is where I need to start. Let's keep moving forward. And he is willing to do that with you in one session.
Yeah, because most of the time people can self-identify a lot of the times, right? But here's the deal, what happens when they self-identify? They usually are too scared to pick the real thing that's causing the problem.
So we pick this thing over here because, oh, this is easier to deal with than really getting to the root that's right here.
Yeah.
I know I'm that person. I'm like, yeah, it's this over here. And Joe's like, it's this. And I'm like, no, I don't want to look at that. So anyway, we are I'm super excited about this. It's taken me a hot minute to get him on board. He's like, I need to think about it. Because he really wants change for you guys.
Yes, and I just want to make sure it was the best next step for the people who are showing up.
Yep.
In a way that can serve them, and that I'd leave them with something that's actionable at the end, instead of just being, because you've all ran into these coaches been like, oh, here, I'm going to be a consultant and tell you about all this theory, but not tell you how to actually implement it in your life, right? And I find that worthless, honestly. So what I've been trying to do is create this structure, how I can condense that into one session that's going to give you a map. This playbook is not a map. Yours are maps.
Mine are maps. Yours are playbooks.
Maybe like a sports playbook to say, hey, when this stuff happens, this is what you need to do next.
So you walk away with tools. You walk away with steps. You walk away with the understanding of what action to take to help move you forward. So if that sounds amazing to you, and if you are as excited about it as I am, because it means you get to move forward in making those zeros matter. Because that's really what this comes down to, is we're not anti-putting zeros after the comma and before the period. If we're looking at US dollars here, we want to make sure that the zeros that you add after the comma and before the period are powerful zeros,
and
are going to stay with you zeros. Exactly. That are going to make influence and impact zeros, not just, oh, I've reached a new level of stress of what I'm worth. And if I'm not worth, If I'm not making this, then I'm not worth this kind of thing. We want to remove the stories that are associated so that the zeros in and of themselves can be powerful rather than using them as some kind of shield against the stories that are still impacting you beneath the surface. So if you're interested and you're like, yes, I need that, just comment down here below. Joe will reach out to you and set up that first appointment to chat through everything, make sure it's a good fit for you, and get you all signed up and ready to go.
Yeah. So,
right?
Yep. Let me know.
So just let us know in the comments below. And you guys, we are so excited for the upcoming seasons. There's a lot coming down in Cash and Courage itself and in the things that Joe's doing in the world. Because what is it that you want most, Joe? He talks to me about it all the time, but I want you guys to hear this.
What do I want most?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to money, when it comes to self, I want people to speak, and I really want people to change the way they speak about money. But more importantly, even underneath that, I want people to change the way they're speaking about themselves, right? Too many times we attach how we speak about ourselves based upon what we're bringing in our businesses, about how much we're making. And it's got to stop. It's time to stop. So if we can start to change the way we speak about money, we start to change the way we speak about ourselves, right? And then we can make the true impact that we're looking to make in each of our respective businesses and industries. So that's my goal, is to help each one of you really start becoming that impact change maker, to change the way people see not only what you do, but the areas which you play and reside and what your industries are capable of, because we're playing way too small. And it's time to make change and impact the way that will impact the world in a way that will really bring about the amount of resources that we can use to change it for good and really combat the stuff that's out there that we hate. So,
yep.
Anyways.
Woohoo! I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Again, let us know in the comments below. Joe will reach out to you, and I guess we'll be back here next week.
We'll be back next week for sure.
Well, YouTube maybe. We'll keep you posted.
We'll be here and we'll be there. We're gonna try.
I guess we're gonna try simulcasting.
We'll let you know. We're gonna have some fun next week.
Okay. All right. But you guys will see you same money time, same money channel.
Yeah, you can do that.
Have a wonderful rest of your week. Let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you want us to address. We're always receiving questions so that we can make sure that the topics we're discussing are on target for what's happening in you, your life, your business, and your money.
Yep.
So ask away, and we will be back to talk next week.
Yep. And if nobody tells us, I might give it a sneak peek next. No, every time I give a sneak peek, I always forget what we're going to talk about. So I'll have some ideas next week, and it's actually very current about what we have going on right now in the world economy. So we'll talk about that maybe next week.
Cool. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for being here. And those that can be here with us live, it's so good to see you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and we'll see you online.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.